Hey, comic book fans, welcome back to Comic Book Corner 2.0. And fans, you're with me, Mike Spider Slayer. Get ready to do another countdown. That's right, fans, this is countdown number 66, and it's a doozy, fans. It is so big, so many comics that I had this week. I didn't even get a chance to read all the comics, so not all of them are going to be on the countdown, so I'm going to do the ones that I read. The books that I have left to read are Guardians of the Galaxy, issue number 16. Okay. The next one will be Savage Hulk, issue number 1. And the last one is Hulk versus Iron Man, number 1. Just didn't have the time to get to those. Was away this weekend, working the 2 jobs. It's a crazy summer this summer. So sorry for the inconsistency. Just doing the best that I can, and then hopefully once summer's over, I'll get into more of a regular routine again. But with that being said, let's get started with the comics. And let me just tell you guys, this was a solid week for reading. There really wasn't too many bad comic books. In fact, maybe really only one. And that one was this book right here, number 17 on this week's list. And that is New 52 Future's End, issue number 8. That's right, fans. This book was absolutely atrocious. The last issue was progressed a story. I enjoyed it. This particular story just was all over the place. We find out this weird thing in the issue, which I have no idea what this is, and this book continues to suffer with 2-page stories of specific characters, and then it moves forward. 1 page here with Deathstroke, 1 page here with Grifter, 1 page here with um, what's it called, with Lois Lane. And you see that in this book, and it's consistent. And the more and more characters that they introduce, the more and more less time a specific character gets in a particular issue. The only story now that seems to be progressing really is this Jason story with this professor who tried to make this transporter. We see a brief uh, cameo here, real quick, of Superman. We still don't know why he's like he is, of trying to get Jason to get Firestorm back to the Justice League. Um, you get this crazy part with Hawkman where his arm gets chopped off so it can go on to Frankenstein's arm, which what was the point of that? And this issue just continues to go in all these weird ways. And after seeing Batman Beyond in the last issue fight Mr. Terrific, I wanted to find out what happened there, and that wasn't even touched on. So very frustrating issue, very frustrating series. Guys, you could tell me if you're still reading this, but I really didn't like this particular issue. This story is all over, and I thought I was going back on track, but I guess I was wrong, and I think I gave this one a 2 out of 5. All right, going forward, we go on to number 16 this week. And number 16 was Sinestro, issue number 3. Not a bad issue, average issue. I give it a 3 out of 5 stars. I just felt that there really wasn't anything happening in this issue. Cool issue. You see Sinestro, his like eyes are poked out, or something's going on with him. Melissa Dark is there too. So I like the cover that is on the book. Um, I think Colin Bunn has done a fairly good job of writing Sinestro. We get to see these beings that are introduced into this issue that I feel are going to be a major storyline going forward with this series. And we get to see Sinestro try to get together his new home planet, which was this prison planet, if you read the last issue. And you get to see him talking with his daughter, and I like the you know dialogue that was provided for us between the two characters to see if Saranic is gonna go with Sinestro or if she's gonna go back to the Green Lantern Corps or whatnot. And I liked it. I thought the artwork was okay. It was just the issue. I found that there was lackluster and there wasn't much to the issue. Just a lot of talking, not a lot of action here between the core members, and you see Sinestro come across more of his uh, his own people, trying to rescue them. And that's really what happens in this issue. But again, the issue does provide nice artwork in here with great paneling, great inks, great colors, and it was a nice book to look at. So it'll be interesting to see where this book goes. And again, after reading this one, it was an average read for me. It was a 3 out of 5. All right. Number 15, we get Wonderland issue number 24. Same thing for me on this book. This was uh, this was number 3 stars on my list, a little lower on the list this week because uh, I felt that if you haven't read Wonderland at all, you'd be completely confused and lost of what was happening here. And I even found myself a little bit lost of what was going on here too, just because they touched on so many things. You get to see the new girl Hazel that's kind of working with Callie and Violet, and then you get to see the Queen of Diamonds in here, and then you get to see the Queen of Clubs, and then you see the Jabberwocky, and you see the Void, and there's just all kinds of different and miscellaneous things that are going on in this particular issue. But in the end, you wind up seeing, I think, which is the Queen of Spades working with the Void. So I don't know. We'll see where it goes. I did like the artwork in this book. At times, it was pretty entertaining, but I found myself having to go back and reread things. I felt a little bit lost here, even though I've been reading the past few issues of this. So new readers, I can feel, might be turned off by this particular issue of Wonderland. But overall, the series is pretty good. So I gave this one a 3 out of 5. All right. 17, 16, 15. So now we're on number 14. And number 14 was the Flash issue number 32. I thought this was a pretty cool issue. I liked how we get to see Captain Cold on his deathbed. And in this issue, you wind up seeing Flash, the future Flash, um, coming to go to his bedside, and you watch him, and you see the future Flash actually stay by his bedside while he passes away. I thought it was a touching moment. The artwork is really good in this particular series. He gets to fight this villain that distorts things, and he absorbs them and he twists them up. And I thought it was pretty neat. Um, Also, in this issue, you get to see Flash do this crazy power where gravity has defied him, and he kind of is like way, way up in the air, and he spins his arms really fast and stuff, and he gets shoved right back to the ground. Um, we can see things starting to develop here relationship wise when it comes to Patty and Barry. We can see that Barry is trying to help Iris, um, helping her with Wally West, and Patty is getting jealous of the relationship there uh, between the two, and she feels that he has time for everybody else but for her. So I can see that the relationship is starting to get strained there, and you get to see a relationship building now between Barry, Wally, and maybe particularly Iris. So interesting stuff. I like the story that was provided here. Uh, I'm not sure where we're going with this whole Future Flash thing, but it's still entertaining. I like the artwork here, and I gave this one a 3.5 out of 5 stars. All right, 15, 14, and number 13 goes to Batman Zero Year issue number 32. Uh, this was okay. I didn't think it was as entertaining as the last issue. Last issue had lots of suspense to try to see if they could get the location of the Riddler. Now, on this issue, they spent the whole time trying to actually find the Riddler and get to him and solve his riddle or whatnot. And Batman had so much tenacity in this. He was so determined to figure out what was going on with the Riddler. I like the artwork in here. I like the machines that were used, these robots, these droids, or whatever they were that posed as the Riddler here. I thought it was entertaining. I'm at my end when it comes to Batman Eternal. I want it to be over. I want to move on to another story. This was interesting. However, um, Batman is still not done with the Riddler. This was really cool right here. Because just when Batman figures out what's going on and Batman says, give it up, of course, there's something at the end. And he goes, well, no, the game is just really beginning. And then you get this. So yeah, it was fun. It was entertaining, but it wasn't as good as that last issue. But I am looking forward to the final issue and how this all wraps up, and then we move forward with the series because I've been over Zero Year for a while now. It's been going on for a year. I want something new, so I gave this one a 3.5 out of 5 stars. All right, so going on, we go on to number 12. And number 12 was The Amazing Spider-Man issue number 3. Probably one of my lowest picks or lowest issues of Amazing Spider-Man in a long time. Not that it was a horrible issue. It's just there was a lot of good books this week, and this didn't push it over the edge. And part of the reason why this issue did not push it over the edge this week was because I felt that Black Cat was out of character. And I understand that she is upset for Peter or Doc Ock punching her in the face, ruining her life, or whatever the case may be. However, she has no reason to even listen or to reason with Peter or whoever it is that's talking in the issue, about her situation. We've had all the other people reason to Peter of what's been going on. Mary Jane, Aunt May, Jay Jonah, the Avengers who came across Spider-Man 5 separate occasions and he betrayed them. And they were just like, okay, there could have been a thing where Peter just said, come with me to the Avengers. I'll prove it to you. She wants nothing to do with it. She just wants pure, strict revenge. And not just revenge. She wants to basically, kill him. And that's not Felicia's character. I don't care how angry you are. She's never been that type of character where she's threatening Peter's life. She knows Spider-Man. They've hung out on multiple occasions. They've hooked up. She should give him the benefit of the doubt. Look at him. He can try to help her, do something. I just didn't agree with that. I'm not fond of her new little costume either, as well. I don't like the eyes on the shoulder pads. Here's another page of that. This book did have some good character moments in it. I like the Peter moments in here. I like how he was all gun-ho about being a great boss. Also in this issue, I hated Mary Jane. Her firefighter boyfriend was rescued by Peter, and she just kind of blows off Peter, and it's just like, oh, never mind that. And she's like the little girl thing hugging the boyfriend. I just didn't like that. Jay Jonah had some good moments in here as well. So this book did have its moments, especially when Peter was pretending to be Dr. Octopus away to get Felicia away. But again, the whole Black Cat thing really got me aggravated because as much as her life has been turned around, you would think she would do something, give Spider-Man the benefit of the doubt here. Also liked what was going on with Silk. Can't wait to see when she's introduced in the series and what's going to happen with her. So after reading this, I gave this one a 3.5 out of 5 stars. All right, so I think now we're going to move on to number 12, right? I think that's what it is. And number 12 is Chew, issue number 42. Yeah, Chew has been quite interesting. I think this is the first issue now that it's starting to head into the direction of this series ending. There's always been a say that John Layman says that this series will be ending in around issue 60. This kind of has that setup heading towards that final stretch. We're about 17 issues into Chew, and in this series, you get to see a subplot going on about this seal that's been murdered. But the whole thing that's been going on in this issue or in this series is you got Colby, Appleby, and you got Savoy and Caesar getting together about how they've been trying to plot or how they've been trying to work together to really defeat this vampire collector, as well as Agent Chew is too. So I feel that this is a real setup of what's going to happen in this towards the end of this series. This book always continues to be entertaining. It always shows that one page of Agent Poyo, the gigantic rooster, defeating all these other creatures in the middle of its book. And I think John Layman has created an excellent series here. It's very original, very different. I definitely recommend you guys trying to get the trade for this. And it's definitely a fun read. So after reading this book, I gave this one a 3.5 out of 5 stars. I didn't feel it was like super strong or super funny as it usually is, but it did set up a good plot for what's going to happen towards the end here. So 3.5 out of 5 stars. All right, so I think we're on number 11. Let me just check. Well, I guess we're on the top 10. My numbering's way off. I didn't get a chance to write down stuff. So we're going to do number 10. And number 10 is Wonderland Clash of the Queens, issue number 5. This wraps up everything that's going on with these queens that are fighting for this ebony blade. And it's been this whole battle, this whole thing of backstabbing, all kinds of mayhem going on in a particular issue. And they've all been manipulated by this particular woman right here. And she's by the name of Trickster. And her whole thing is that she wants to be in control of Wonderland, so you think. But by the time we get to the end of this issue, I felt that the issue provided some. Well, let me backtrack for a second here. By the time you get to the end of this issue, it wasn't for the Trickster. It was for the Dark Queen, because she winds up working for the Dark Queen and winds up getting the Ebony Blade for herself after all the queens have basically killed each other, which I thought was really awesome in this particular issue. And the Queen of Diamonds wound up going back on her own or leaving or whatnot. I thought this was an entertaining series. I thought at times there was better issues than this one. I thought the artwork was better at times in this particular issue. However, it was still an entertaining read, and I enjoyed it a lot. So after reading this issue, I gave this one a 3.5 out of 5 stars too. All right, so going on to number 9. Yes, I'm still making sure I'm on that track. And number 9 goes to Superman, issue number 32. It's the first issue written by Geoff Johns, also art done by J. Remuda Jr., or John Remuda Jr., sorry. And you open up the cover and you get this right here. Really like the cover. You see Clark Kent in his clothes and he's changing and running at the same time. And he flies off being Superman. Cool. Now, a lot of people have been on the fence about, Superman lately and not, excited about the artwork with John Remuda coming on board. But there's some people that do like him. And I thought the artwork was much improved from what I've seen in the past for John Remuda. I read Kick-Ass. There's times where the art is real sloppy. The characters can look like bendable guys or too boxy at times. And I thought, really, in this issue, I thought it was much improved. The baby's face here looks gorgeous. I thought the galaxy and space looked really nice. This page we've all been seeing for a long time now. And I thought that this was really well done. I remember seeing that, and I thought, wow, that's pretty nice. I really liked how this book was written because it felt like a more classic Superman, in my opinion. Um, I liked Perry White. I liked Jimmy Olsen. I liked how Clark went back to the Daily Planet, and you're kind of reliving certain things that happened in Superman's life. So I enjoyed that aspect of the story. Um, he changes. He goes into the red blue blur, which was fun, and he comes across this different type of alien, and he tries to defeat this alien, but then we get this other Superman, and we find that these two Supermen are basically battling this alien together. This was a great page here. Really enjoyed looking at this page, and this book was very entertaining. And after reading it and looking at it and saying, "Wow, this is probably one of the better Superman books I've read in a while." Now, if it keeps up, it's still yet to be determined. If the art stays good quality, good. I'm happy for it. If Geoff Johns, I don't have I don't have a problem with Geoff Johns whatsoever. If there's anybody that can carry a book, it'll be Geoff Johns. It's just the artwork I'm worried about. However, if there's anybody that can hopefully get Superman back on track, it is Geoff Johns. And after reading this, I gave this a 4 out of 5. All right. Going on, we're on to number 8. And number 8 was Fantastic Four, issue number 6, Original Sin tie-in. So how did this all come about? Here we have the Thing and Johnny Storm on the cover. Nice cover here. I like how it just typically it should show Johnny Storm dead, and you have the Thing there in tears. Well, that's a misleading cover, and you can get to see this issue continue where it last left off. They lost this trial. They can no longer be in business at the Baxter Building. They're closing it down. They can't even live there. And the actual Avengers in this issue show up, and they're telling Fantastic Four, we're sorry. Their kids were taken away from them, and it's a really sad story of what's happening here. I like seeing all the Avengers in this issue that we haven't seen in a while. At least I haven't seen in a while. You got Spider Woman's in there, Luke Cage is in there as well, and this had somewhat of a classic Marvel story for me in here. Um, you know, Invisible Girl is really angry. Sue Storm is so mad at this point because she's lost everything. She's lost her kids. She lost her house. People are going through her stuff, and she totally loses it. Um, you also get to see the Thing. He makes an appearance in this book, and he tells Johnny Storm he's seen the original sin of what has happened, and it's basically what has happened to the Thing and who did it to him. And basically, it flashes back to years ago where the Thing was supposed to get his transformation taken back from him. And as you see in this issue, you see Johnny Storm went into that little capsule in the beginning and looked like he tampered with the machine. And so when the Thing wound up going into this machine to get cured, so he's not going to be the Thing anymore, he comes out like this. Right here. He changes and he becomes this. And you're like, whoa, what the hell's going on here? And it's really because I think Johnny Storm didn't want him to change back. He wanted him to stay the Thing. So it kind of leaves you cliffhanging with that. And I really like this series, guys. Fantastic Four has been so good since Robinson has taken this over. He's done a great job with it. The artwork is phenomenal by Leonard Kirk. It's consistent. I was never a huge fan of Fantastic Four before, but this series is written well and it's drawn well, and I love everything provided here. So I go out and read this, guys. I gave this one a 4 out of 5. All right. So going on, we go on to number 7. And number 7 was Invincible, issue number 112. Last issue of this, we got Adam and Eve was basically got her leg ripped off. She's pregnant. She fell on the ground. You don't know if she's dying. You don't know if the baby's going to get born. You don't know what's happening. Robots basically started to destroy everybody that has to do with Invincible or the Guardians of the Globe. You see him send out all his little clones of himself, of his robot self, and you see him slowly pick away the superhero community that happens in this universe. The biggest thing here is Robot Girl and I'm sorry, Monster Girl and Robot, and which is Monster Girl's name is Amanda, and it's Rex, and that's her right here. And the dialogue moments are great here because Rex and Amanda ruled a world together, and they spent thousands of years there, based off of the way time works compared to Earth. They wound up spending so much time there. They started off as little kids, and they wound up growing up, and they were lovers. And Rex wound up ruling this world with Amanda, and he wound up going back and leaving it. Well, he's bored with being on Earth, and he feels that he wants to rule this world too. And he started doing it without Amanda's consent. And Amanda feels that she kind of doesn't fit in Earth anymore. She doesn't know where she fits in. And Rex tries to get her permission and says, what if we did this and we did that and we did this, and he's talking to her, but he's already doing it without even getting her consent. And he does want to want her to join, but she figures out that he is doing it right now, and she kind of doesn't go along with it. And so what happens is Rex will do it without her, and he's sad, he's upset because they've lived together for years and years and been on a planet for years and years. And in the end of the issue, he winds up saying goodbye to her because he's forced to get rid of her and tosses her into space as she's dying there. So crazy stuff with Invincible. Lots of things are changing in the universe. I don't know who's going to be alive, who's going to be dead. It looks like, based off of this, she's dying because there's no oxygen in space. And we don't know who superheroes are going to be alive after this onslaught with Robot. And we still don't know what's going to happen with Invincible. We still don't know what's going to happen with Adam and Eve. A lot of question marks, a lot of shit that just happened in this series. And I can't wait to read issue number 113. And I gave this one a 4 out of 5 stars. This is really close to being 4.5, but they showed no Invincible, and I was kind of pissed off at that. So, and if you haven't read Invincible before, you might know, you might not know who Monster Girl is and who Rex is and what their history is. So you would have to go back and read those certain issues. So this got a 4 out of 5. All right, so we're going to go on to number 6. And number 6 was issue number 1 of Outcast, also written by Robert Kirkman. This book has to do with some kind of demonic possession that happened here. Our main character, which is on the cover, is known as Outcast. His name is Kyle Barnes. And he has this ability to somehow get demons out of people. You get to see in this issue a priest trying to do an exorcism. He doesn't really succeed, but somehow this guy, Kyle Barnes, winds up exiting the demons from this particular kid right here, who, obviously is possessed based off of this. He starts eating his own finger. Real weird stuff that happens in this issue. But there's a strange past with our main character, Kyle Barnes, because for whatever reason, demonic possession happens to people that are close to him. Happened to I think his mom and his wife, and it was maybe some other person too. I don't remember exactly who it was, but you get to see pictures and flashbacks of that. So he kind of keeps to himself. He doesn't want to get close to people. His sister tries to come over to try to give him somewhat of a normal life. I thought the story here provided for us was really good, really different. It's not going to be about religion. Some people might take it that way. That's why I can feel where people might be turned off by this. Might be too creepy for people if you've seen Exorcist or something like that, because it might have to do in a crazy way. The artwork is very dark. but it does fit the tone of the book. And for $2.99, guys, it's a double-sized issue to get a good introduction to this character. Wonderful story, very different. I gave this one a 4.5 out of 5 stars. All right, going on to our top 5 books of the week, and number 5 is Avengers Undercover issue number 6. I heard that this book was ending at issue 10. I'm kind of upset about it. I like Avengers Undercover. I liked Avengers Arena. I don't know if this book is being canceled because nobody's buying it, no one likes the story, or the story is just physically ending at this point in time. But we got to see our Avengers Undercover, or Young Avengers, or whatever you want to call them, basically go with the Masters of Evil. And they're all teaming up now to pretend that they're going to join these guys, but they're going to secretly take them out and become part of the good guys again. That's their mission here. But there's a particular person that doesn't know what's going on because they haven't had a chance to tell her yet, and that was Deathlocket, Rebecca. This book is written by Dennis Hopeless, and the artist here is done by Timothy Green. There's one issue I have with this. I love the artwork in this book. However, it's very different this time around because the Young Avengers are made to look younger in previous issues, and in this issue, they all look a lot older. And I'll give you an example for Deathlocket here. This is her. In previous issues, she did not look like this. She looks like a full-fledged on woman, where in the actual issue she may be 15 or 16, which she may look 15 or 16 here, but when you're constantly being drawn as a younger looking character, you get used to that. And here she just looks full figured, full on battle suit. But in this issue, you get to see this book focused heavily on her because she's slowly being persuaded to become part of the Masters of Evil. And she's here working with, what's his name? This dude with the shovel. I forgot his name. Which is, I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it real quick, but I don't know if his name is like Shovel Man or some retarded thing like that, but it's this guy right here, and they're becoming an item in this particular issue, and they're set out to go onto this mission, and they have to do this battle on an aim field. And what happens is Captain America winds up showing up in this issue, and he winds up saying, "Hey, you got to take out Captain America." And you can see that she's persuaded by him. They're like almost a couple in the here. They almost wind up kissing, and Chase tries to get involved, and right as Captain America comes, she has him in the crosshairs and is about to take him out. And Chase basically winds up, stopping things and interferes. And Chase says, "You have a decision to make. You can either join them or be with us." And let's just say Rebecca makes that decision in this book and winds up shooting Chase. And you're just like, what is going on here? All because she's in love with this little shovel guy? I don't know. But this was a great issue. The story that is provided in Avengers Undercover is really interesting. It's different to see how these characters move forward, progress, deal with what's happened with them in the past, and how they're all going to come out of this. I don't know, but I'm sad to see this series get canceled or end because I've been hooked on it since Avengers Arena. And after reading this, I gave this a 4.5 out of 5 stars. I really enjoyed it. All right. Number 4 was Red Lanterns issue number 32. I love this book, guys. Red Lanterns is awesome. And you know what makes it better now? Is Supergirl is gone. She's no longer going to be in this book as of this book. If she wasn't in this book, this is very possible that this was going to be number 1 this week. In this particular issue, Charles Soule writes it. Just in case you guys want to know. because I think he's a great writer. And the artist Jay Calafor, if I said that right, I think he does a fantastic job. And I have to give it to the inker on this book too. At first, I wasn't into the inks in this actual series, uh, just for the fact being that it seemed too dark. But the more you read it, you get used to it, and it fits the tone of the book. This is Rancor, and he is no longer a sane Red Lantern anymore. He's just a freak creature at this point. This is the revenge of Atrocitus, by the way. He wants to get back at the Red Lanterns, the other Red Lanterns, for what they did to him, especially Guy, since he basically almost killed him here. Uh, he lured them to meet up with Rancor so Rancor can do battle. And in the meantime, Atrocitus goes back to Yasmalt, which is their home. But basically, it's not going to be their home anymore. And he just starts to trash the place. And he doesn't just trash it, he destroys all the statues they made, all the blood lake that they made, and everything. And then in the process, you get to see this battle go on again between Rancor and the other lanterns. It is crazy. Bleez sacrifices himself so they can just stall time between the two. Again, you get to see Atrocitus go after this, the lake and destroy the planet and destroy the power battery. This was an awesome, awesome issue until you get to the very end where basically Guy Gardner just kicks her out of the team and says, "This ain't your fight." He's like, "I don't want you to be part of this." And she's like, "But I still wear the ring. I feel like I belong here." And he just says, "Go to Mogo. He can hopefully get the ring off of you." And he kind of sends her packing. This is where I felt that the book was weak. This was kind of a weak way to end her way on this book. I think she should have lost the ring through here. Something should have happened to her. She is a strong asset to the team. And for a guy to sit there and say, "Well, this is not your fight. We don't want you to get involved." I don't know. I kind of don't agree with that. And she's just left gone, and that was the end of her. And again, you get to see the lanterns go back to their home world, and they find it destroyed. And now they have to go and find Atrocitus and try to kick his ass. This was a fun issue. I gave this one a 4.5 out of 5 stars too. Again, it was just those Kara moments I didn't like. However, you notice how it doesn't say her banner on there anymore, so she will not be returning to this book. All right, so we're going to go on to our top three. Top three, and our number 3 book of the week was Saga issue or chapter number 20. I love Saga. I think it's a soap opera, but it's an entertaining soap opera. It's about the father, it's about the mother, it's about the kid, it's about a babysitter, it's about some weird TV set guy. He's getting a blowjob in the first page. It's just a crazy ass book, you know? And in this issue, you get to see all kinds of stuff that's happening. You get to see the beginning of a marriage, I think, starting to dissolve. And it's kind of sad because Alana and Marco are a great couple, but they've been through so much. And now that they're on this planet, it just seems like different things are going around. Again, this is how the page opens up. This is how the book opens up. Hey, why not, TV guy? Why not have some fun? Prince Robot the Fourth, he's getting pleasured here on that slave or that slut planet, whatever it was. And because he just had a kid, and I guess he doesn't want to admit it, and he's been gone for days. And you can see that he just had a baby boy. So what happens in this issue is we get to see Marco wind up waking up. And you see this card that he pulls out. And it looks like he wants to take the baby Hazel to this dance class. And he met a dance instructor in the last issue. And he thinks, oh, why not? Gets Hazel busy, gets her outside. And also in this issue, you get to see Alana. She's busy doing this acting job, trying to get people in the right way, go the right way, trying to work with people. And she finds out one of her coworkers does drugs on the job. And, she justifies it by, you know what? I haven't had a day off since my baby was born. Why not give me some? So she winds up, taking some stuff that I guess resembles acid in the issue. And you can see she starts off like this, and then she goes like this, and then she's like this, and then all of a sudden she's like this, tripping balls. Yeah, she's just sucking her thumb just in a fetus position naked. And that's the last you see of her. As the issue continues, you get to see um, basically Marco and this dance instructor chick kind of flirty with each other. So can you kind of see a trend here going? Can I see like a little affair? Can kind of see a little drug use going, and you can see maybe the starts of this leading into something more for both characters. Also, in the end of this issue, you get to see something huge that happens. You get to come across Prince Robot the Fourth's um, mom, or I'm sorry, wife, and she's holding a newborn baby. And we get to witness this janitor here that lost his child, and the royal family never did anything to help its child because of insurance purposes. And this is a huge spoiler in case you haven't read this yet, so just be prepared. The dude just tastefully takes a freaking sword and stabs her right in the face with the baby in the hand, and she dies, and you wind up seeing this janitor taking the baby for himself because he wants to use it as his own new kid, and he's killed everybody into the process. Really crazy stuff. This is a great book. I enjoy it. Some people might be tired of it, seeing the same things over and over again, but there's something about Saga that just intrigues me that I want to keep reading more and more to see what happens to these characters. I also like it because it's not really an overwhelming amount of characters. It's got the couple, it's got the family, it's got the robot, and just different things happen to you or to them that again just keeps me interested in it. So after reading it, I gave it a 4.5 out of 5 stars. All right, number 2 book of the week is, and you guys might be surprised at this, Batman Eternal issue number 12. This series is back, at least for this issue anyway. If this book was written this way every single week, this would be a phenomenal series. This got back on track of what the main story is about. You get to see the introduction to the trial here with Commissioner Gordon. I still think there were certain moments in here that weren't perfect, but I thought this was overall a great issue. I love the beginning of the issue where Commissioner Gordon goes into the police truck and he's wind up talking to Batman undercover here. I thought that was some great moments in the issue. You get to see, excuse me, Harper Row tapping into Red Robin's computer trying to get out information. I thought that was quite interesting. Oh, and did I mention the artwork was a lot better in this particular issue too? Here's where this was the only part I really didn't like. I didn't care for the actual Batgirl moment in here with Red Hood. I didn't care for that. But you see her that she's in distress. She wants to be hurried. She's running out of time to get justice for her father, so she's really on edge. And then you get to see these trial moments happen in here between the lawyers. The opening statements and things like that. It's like you're in a real trial, and I thought that was so interesting in this issue. To see them battle back and forth between each other in this book. You get to learn a little bit more about Julia Pennyworth, which I thought was nice. You actually get to see the way she's drawn in here. You get to see Batman called upon. And then at the end, you're thrown for this huge loop that James Gordon Jr. was asked for visitation rights at the end of it. And Senior doesn't know that he's alive. And he's like, "You're alive?" So I thought this book had a lot of great character moments in here. I love that trial part. There's a couple things, little nitpicky things here and there. But when I was reading this book, I was fully engaged in it. Truly loved it. Enjoyed it the most out of probably since I want to say issue 3 of this series. So great job. Batman Eternal finally makes a comeback this week, and I gave this one a 4.5 out of 5 stars. All right. Last but not least, the number 1 book of the week goes to Justice League issue number 31. I love this issue. The new Power Ring. Will she save our world or will she destroy it? If you read Forever Evil, you knew that Power Ring got destroyed and his ring was released and had to find a new person to wear it. And I love the cover too. It's got like the Justice League all on here, and you don't see her face yet in here, which is cool. But you notice how Captain Cold is in there, and Lex Luthor, Shazam, and everything there. This book was entertaining from start to finish. From the beginning, where you have Jessica Cruz, where the ring is trying to get her to wear it, and it's talking to her, and she rejects it. She does everything by trying to shoot it, and the ring wants nothing to do with her. And it basically goes on, willingly on its own, and it's very painful, creates a lot of fear. It's almost like opposite of what a regular green ring will do. Awesome character moments here between Lex Luthor and Bruce Wayne. How Lex wants to join the Justice League, and also he knows that Bruce Wayne is Batman. The artwork was a little funky at times with character faces, eyelashes, big teeth. So I wasn't really fond on that artwork, especially particular here. You notice that Lex Luthor is holding a gun to Bruce here, and he's saying, I know you're Batman. He's like, I've pulled these things together. And you get to see Alfred join in the action, and you're just like, oh my God, what's going to happen here? And Lex Luthor winds up firing the gun, and he finds out that there's this hole into the ground and into the Bat Cave. And it was awesome to see Lex Luthor figure out Bruce's secret. I thought that was really neat, and he's real persistent. Another great character moment between Shazam and Cyborg. Shazam just bored out of his mind, having watch duty, trying to figure out where the Power Ring source is, and he tries to create some magic maybe to find it, and creates this cool, table, which I thought was funny, this ping pong table. And then you get to see Captain Cold in here being offered a job by LexCorp, which I thought was really nice. And, again, this story had lots of character moments. And then you finally get to see Power Ring in here. And you get to see what she's experiencing as a wearer of this ring for the first time. She sees all fear, all these diamonds. She's always fearful. Now you can see what the real Power Ring went through in the past, how he was always scared, telling the ring to stop and stop yelling at me and stop showing me these things. And you can see that the ring is already deforming her, going up the arm with those veins and stuff. Again, you can see that here. And it looks like it slowly corrupts or kills the person who wears the ring. And then by the time you get to the end of this book, you wind up seeing that it looks like the Doom Patrol is going to help her. So I wasn't sure what to expect there. I was kind of just like left with this cliffhanger, like, really? I'm not sure if I like the Doom Patrol. But the rest of the issue was really good. So besides that part, and besides the artwork, which looked a little funky at times with character expressions and teeth and things like that, I thought this issue was really good and had a really good story here. I didn't get a 5 stars. We got a 4.5 out of 5 stars. So there was no 5-star book for me this week, but there was a lot of 4.5 out of 5-star books. But yeah, guys, there it is. There's your countdown for the week. 17 books in all. Hope you guys enjoyed. Again, tell me what your favorite book of the week was, what your worst book of the week was. And guys, as always, thank you for watching Comic Book Corner 2.0. And until the next comic book review, this is Mike Spider Slayer signing off. Thanks for watching, everyone. See you soon. Bye.